All right, guys, welcome back to Crypto Talk. It's been a few weeks. I've been head down with Fusio. So those of you that watched the video, I'll give you a quick alpha here. We do have a set date for Fusio's public launch, which will be on MEXC. Currently speaking, it's June 11th. I can't release the time at this point, but I can at least give you a heads up on that. So those of you that do follow me, and there you are. There's some not so public information that has not been released yet. We do have IDO launches going from June 2nd through June 9th on 9 different platforms, from Downmaker to Bin Starter to Binance Smart Chain Zone Launchpad, BSCS, and several others. So enough of that. That's where I've been head down dealing with launchpads and sending people money and yada, yada, yada. So things are set in stone. You're going to start seeing marketing rolling out, but we'll just move on from that. So here we are with Bitcoin on the weekly. You had the RSI breakout. Last time you had an 84% move, 80 or 85% move. That will be 158, in my opinion, right now. That the way things look, that's kind of unrealistic in the short term. Are we going to get this same move? I don't know. I will say the last time we had this little double top here on the RSI, we had about 21 days before we had a double top. Could we do the same thing here? I do like how the yellow line is starting to come back up, starting to creep. We haven't quite topped out yet. We're still printing higher histograms here on the MACD. So really, I think it's more of a consolidation phase, which you'll get into on a different chart here. And that's what this one is. So I really just think we're stair-stepping. You can see that here, kind of consolidating as we're pushing higher. Small stair steps. I do think 107 still in the cards as a tap. That is the top breakout of the value area high. If we do come down a little lower, you're looking at 105.363. You've got the monthly VWAP down at the 103.485 mark. And then the top of another micro range, which is a value area high at 101. So really the line in the sand is kind of that $100,000 range. Also the anchored VWAP is down there. So really we need to stay above the $100,000 mark to really stay bullish. The 4-year cycle hasn't changed. Still have a projected high unless things change of October of 2025. Bear market low coming in somewhere around October 2026. Are we going to get the massive blow off top? What math says potentially go as high as $340,000. It's possible. The way things are going right now with this current slow growth, I don't really see it coming. I like to look at things more of them on the short term. So I have a fib pulled here locally. Even though I do think the 114 mark is the next target, and above that's the 125. You do have a 1618 up here at 132.240, and then the 2414 up at the 160, and the 2618 up at the 168. And then obviously the measured move of 85% comes in at 158. I still think that's a little strong in my opinion. I'll be happy with the 125 between now and July 4th. I think July 9th is kind of where the projected peak of this would be. This run here took that same amount of time. 91 days. Looking at 91 days gives you that July 7th time frame. So I really just think that we're going to pull back, maybe even test some of the other fibs here at the 105.937 is the 886. We are consolidating below that current all-time high. So the factor still up here is actually very bullish, in my opinion. We could come all the way back down here and retest. I don't think that's likely. But I do see the 107 to the 105 is a nice spot to flush people out and then build a position for the whales to push towards the end of the week. I really think Saturday, this coming week, will be the week that the big push if we're going to get one. What do we have here? We have AVAX. Really haven't talked much else. He had bull divs for a long time. We've pumped now. I think a lot of things, even including SUI, are just kind of consolidating and or dropping off. Things are just waiting for Bitcoin to moon again. I think once Bitcoin's back above, let's jump over here. The 114 mark, things are really going to start to move. 125 you're going to see alts start to fly. Keep in mind, we're sitting on top of the old highs over here. So the 107,450, and really you got a bunch of order blocks at the 106,405 mark. Overall, I do like what I see. I don't like the fact that VWAP's not hitting down on the daily, but the weekly is not bad looking. Weekly has a lot of room to run. We just started the week. So you got kind of an indecisive candle. It's kind of like a little doji top, like a little spindle, a little dreidel. You've got a top and a bottom and a kind of a sandwich in between. So the whales and the bears and the bulls are kind of fighting over positions here. So there's not much else to talk about. So I really haven't missed much, even though I missed this whole BS chat here the past 3 weeks, 2 weeks really here after this big candle up. Not much else to talk about. I just want to see further consolidation and push. I think we're going to see that here very shortly. If you jump on down here to the 12-hour, we'll take a look at that real quick. 12-hour did tag. Actually, we did tag it, didn't we? So busy, didn't pay attention. The low today was, the 107,450. So we've already tagged my target. So if this continues to bounce, we're in really good shape. If we lose this level, we're going to look for order blocks down in here, which I'll zoom in here in a second and show you. 4-hour. Let's turn on our TPO settings and see what we got here. I got to go down the 1 hour probably. All right, let's see what we got, guys. We really don't have much. You've got now a fair value gap to fill up to the 109 mark. You actually have a very strong low at the moment with some weak highs. So at this point in time, we're probably going to target the 110 mark in the near term. Yeah, you have more of this. You did take this out, this liquidity here in terms of the single prints in this fair value gap. You've already filled that. You have weak highs up here, so this is a really good spot to target. So really, once you get back above 110, we're going to target the 112 to 114, which I talked about for the time being. It doesn't mean we can't flush lower again, maybe retest the 108. Oh, we're already there. No, excuse me. The 107.9 mark. We're down below the point of control for the day at 108, just below it, really by $400. Really got to watch you don't bunk your head here at the 109, roughly, let's call it 109.40. I don't like what I see currently speaking on the RSI and the market Cipher B. I would like to see a further push up, but Asia will dictate that. It's already happened. They've already opened. So let's jump on down to the 24-minute and see if we see anything further. Yeah, you've got continuation down in my opinion. So we could come back down and retest the 107.80, but we're holding this 200 smooth moving average here in yellow and right below the 100 moving average. So we're in a good spot to start to do a turnaround if we're going to get one. But in my opinion, it looks like just based off of the larger time frame TPO settings, you have a strong low here. You've already done the job of wicking out and grabbing all this liquidity here. Let's see what this fib looked like. Yeah, you already came down and grabbed, you front ran the 786, you tapped the 618. You're holding above the 200. I like what I see so far. Just the money flow is not very good. You're just consolidating. So this could take about 4 hours to kind of start to have a rounding bottom. And then maybe for London's open into New York, we have a bigger push back up to the 110 mark, which I talked about. Usually Wednesdays are the bigger move days, not Tuesdays, but anything's possible at this point in time. Interest rates globally are starting to drop. Money printing is still happening in terms of the M2 money supply. The debt refinancing needs to happen for all countries, including the United States, so we have some positivity there. Oil is slowly dropping. U.S. dollar value is dropping, so there's a lot of positivity in the market. And we have until July to make a big push. So this could just be a week of consolidation. And a ton of position yourselves if you want to do a low leverage long. Pick your coin. I've been staying away from Bitcoin just for the fact the fees are so darn high. And on MEXC, things like AVAX and SUI and Solana are free, basically. And if not, they're just pennies. So really helps your profit margins in that direction. filled a gap here. So yeah, I really still feel we're going to push back up and retest this weekly VWAP up at 109,415 and kind of go that direction. So with that said, guys, I'm back. Hopefully every few days we'll check in. Nothing I say is financial advice. Best of luck. You want to find me at the Crypto Blackwall on Twitter, the Blockguard Discord. I'll start putting out some Fusio videos here shortly. But love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. If you have any questions, hit me up in the DMs. Patreon crew if you want some one-on-one attention of mine, which is obviously, as you can tell, super limited. So I will talk to you soon. Thank you.